Welcome everybody back to our daily Zoom on Thursday morning. Really excited to be here with you every morning. It has been such a pleasure to have a consistent, structured day and a place to be at 9 a.m. And I've just personally been so enjoying being with all of you and the dynamic interaction and the way we all engage with each other. And the speakers and presenters have been incredible, and same for today. Before I introduce Nina, I would like to guide us in a centering meditation to help us all land here and get connected. And this morning I'm going to say welcome to those listening to the recording, because there's about 120 people signed up for Daily Intimacy, and I know everybody doesn't want to get up at 9 a.m. So I know that many of you are listening to the recording later. So, hey, thanks for being there. Thanks for being here. Got Holly from Brookline Village, 7, feeling a 7. Great. Thank you. Yeah, keep checking in the chat if you haven't already. But in the meantime, I'll invite everybody to have a breath and gently close your eyes. I'm going to invite you to some sound and sigh this morning. A couple of days ago, we did some emotional release with some loud sound. And since we're all muted, some were able to do that. I'm not moving us into that space yet, but I am inviting us to put hands on heart, right on the center of your heart, both hands. Have a deep breath in all the way down to the root chakra. And exhale with a sound and a sigh. Something like that. That sounds something like that. And let's do that a couple times. Wherever you are, whether you're standing or sitting or lying down, if you're lying down, I invite you to bring your feet to the bed or the couch so that you can feel your feet pressing down onto the floor or whatever is beneath you. And bring your awareness to the bottoms of your feet, soles of your feet. And place yourself, whether you're lying down or sitting, right on to the earth. Once again, reconnecting to the mother, to the earth, to Gaia, whatever your word is for her. And maybe you're just beginning to have a relationship with the earth in this new way that this time is inviting us into. And see this moment if you can feel her connecting with you. Some of you might notice an emotional response right away, or a spiritual connection, or some energy. And for some, you might not notice anything in this moment, and there's nothing wrong or right about your experience. No matter what you're experiencing, I invite you to be aware and invite her to send you some energy through your feet. So you might ask inside or speak those words, or just feel her generosity of giving you love and sustenance and nourishment through your feet. And whatever comes through your feet actually reaches every part of your body, all your organs and your bones, your muscles, your lymph system. So breathe it all in, straight up from the bottoms of your feet. Allow it to come up your ankles and your calves, your knees and your hips, your lower back, up your spine and your belly, front and back, to your heart. And this is a practice you can do anytime, any moment that you're feeling depleted or anxious or disconnected or lonely. Just put your feet down. Imagine yourself, or go outside, even better, bare feet on the earth, and soak up her energy. There's an abundance of energy, an infinite amount of resource for you to tap into in any moment. And she's happy to give. So take a nice breath in, letting all that soak into your bones. Give your shoulders a little roll just to greet yourself and let the energy integrate. Yeah, and any little stretching or movements this morning. Great, welcome. And welcome to Nina Manolson this morning. Everybody's coming back. Nina is somebody that I actually met in grad school. My second time in grad school, so it wasn't when I was in my 20s, but it was in my 30s. And we sort of danced around each other in that counseling psych program at Lesley University, then Lesley College. And then we ran into each other again in, I don't know when that was. When was that? I should know. 2005, at our synagogue. And when we re-met, it was like amazing. And we were really doing a lot of the same work as, sort of a very creative entrepreneur women in business. So it's been really fun, and we've developed this great friendship and working together and sharing together. And I'm always so inspired by you, Nina.
Me too. You.
Thanks. It's a mutual admiration party. And so when I was putting this together, I immediately thought of Nina, because she has just taken the world by hand, by storm, whatever that expression is, around nourishment and loving ourselves and loving our bodies. And I'll let you introduce yourself more, but when we talked about doing this and really about nourishing ourselves during this very unique time, it just feels right on to talk about that. So Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking me. And it's a real privilege to be with all of you. Before we even get rolling, I would love to hear in the chat, when you think of eating and at this time of sheltering at home, at this time of working from home, at this time of global stress, of concern, of whatever it is that's going on in your world, I would love to know in the chat, and I'll introduce myself, but I would love to know where you're at, because I really want to respond to what's in our room here. Specifically, there's a lot that I can talk about, but I really want to address what's going on for you right now around your relationship with food. And I specifically say it that way, your relationship with food, because one of the ways that my work dovetails with Robyn's is that she talks a lot about our relationship with each other, our relationship with ourselves, right? And my work is about your relationship with food, about your relationship with your body. And I have been doing this work for over 25 years. So as Robyn said, I have a background in counseling psychology. Before that, I was a body worker. So I had my hands on women every day. I lived and worked at Kripalu for 5 years. And in that, I heard so many body stories. And I heard about so much trauma and so much joy and so many experiences that exist in our body. And I really came to see our body as our book of our life. And if we can really be in an authentic, intimate, respectful, connected, nourishing, responsive, compassionate relationship with our body, then it allows us to have a relationship with food that is more nourishing. Whereas many people right now, I'm not talking about pandemic right now, I'm talking about our culture in general. Many people right now are in a war with their food. I shouldn't have eaten it, I should have eaten it. I made a whole cake, I ate a whole cake. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. Right? I can't believe I did it. Tomorrow I'm going to go on a diet, right? There's so many different relationships that are struggle relationships with food. And if we can really go from the inside out and work on this relationship with body, that relationship with food becomes a nourishing relationship, which then in turn feels like a nourishing relationship with our body, right? Making sense so far? So what I see is so much body war and food war in my work. And what I am a stand for is body peace. I would like all of us to put down the weapons of destruction towards ourselves and be in a relationship of peace. Now, what's happened during this pandemic, as people are home, as people are confronted with food scarcity, as people are confronted with food abundance, because people have loaded their house, right? Happens both ways. A lot of our underlying food issues, whoop, and they're up. Right? They're really top of mind, right in our face. So I want to pause for a second and I want to just read a little bit about what's going on so I can respond. Eating a lot of comfort food. I'm obsessing over COVID-19 and use chocolate. Okay, so let me just write a couple of themes down. Comfort food, chocolate. I'm eating to stay healthy and to comfort myself, right? Comfort, eating for good health and fitness and immunity more than just wellness, right? What's the role of food right now? I'm currently on a weight loss journey. Okay. Eating mostly veg, food and eating is one of the joy. I've been eating more than normal. Trying to survive on food in freezer, right? Freezer food. Home, happy making healthy organic food. Getting munchies because they tend to last. Sean, say more. I'm not sure what munchies is. What does that mean exactly? Coming from an old place of scarcity, now food is just fueled. How to make better choices. Fast 5 version, intermittent fasting. Okay. Right. I'm afraid of self-sabotage. Self-sabotage after a diet. Yeah. Okay. So keep it coming. And a couple things I want to address right away is this idea of comfort food, because this is a big issue for people. What is the role of food? And often I hear it a lot from diet culture, and you'll hear me use that word. I think of diet culture as the way that we've all been trained that our body should be different than it is, that thinner is better, that thinner is healthier, that thinner is more attractive. So I don't subscribe to those beliefs. I believe that all bodies are beautiful bodies. All bodies can be healthy bodies. All bodies deserve to be fed and nourished and have pleasure. So when we've been trained by our diet culture to try to fix and change our body, it is very tempting to look at food and say, okay, food, that's supposed to just be fuel. That's supposed to just nourish me. Then we enter a time of food scarcity, food intensity, right? Then it starts to be like, well, should I be very restrictive with my food, right? So a lot of those diet messages start to creep back in. And so we start to look at really what is the role of food. And because I'm imagining, and I might be wrong, but I'm imagining those who are listening are not in extreme food scarcity, that there's food in your pantry, right? I was talking to a group of people and I was really concerned and it was about 100% food scarcity, we'd be having a different conversation. But most people have something in their cabinet. And how do you be in that relationship with that food? Because for some, Jessica says preach. Yeah, well, that's like the tiniest bit of my preach on diet culture. I write body poems. I write poems about women's experience in their body. That's where you'll hear my 2 cents worth on diet culture. And actually, now that you responded that way, let me say one more thing, because once you get me on that tangent, I could go for a long time. Hold on one sec, a little gravelly. So the thing about diet culture and telling people that there is a right way to be, it gets us into Robyn, when you were saying, I'm starting this diet and now I'm afraid I'm going to get onto this roller coaster. I'm going to get into the diet cycle. And I don't know about you, and maybe this is the first diet you've ever been on in your life, and it's from a place of, I'm really working on, working with some health condition. But for me, I was a chronic dieter. And so every diet started from a place of enthusiasm. Oh, I've got this. This is it. This is the way I'm going to eat now. This makes me feel fantastic. There's this high of the new way of eating. And then we go, this doesn't feel so great. I'm feeling a little restricted. I'm feeling a little controlled. I'm feeling what I call body management. I'm starting to manage my body. And then eventually we hang out in that body management for a while and we go, yeah, I'm done. I'm out. I need pleasure. I need to enjoy myself. I don't want someone to tell me what to eat. You know what? In fact, for over 50 years, the diet culture has told me what to eat. Back it up, right? That comes up, that back it up feeling, don't tell me what to do, is coming up for people more and more because we are actually being told what to do. Do not leave your house. And so when external restrictions happen from the outside, it can trigger that feeling of our inner rebel. Don't tell me what to do. And then that inner rebel comes out in our eating behavior. I'm going to eat what I want. No one can tell me to stay home for 2 months. No one can tell me to not eat for this many hours, right? So often when we're talking about this diet cycle, up comes that inner rebel, wah, right? And then we go into what's wrong with me. I couldn't stay on the diet. And then we go into shame, which is a really hard place to be in relationship with our body when we're feeling like something's wrong with us. And then we go, oh, this really is bad. I'm going to do something different. Let me find out, what's the new diet now? Maybe keto, maybe paleo, maybe intermittent fasting, maybe juice cleansing, maybe Weight Watchers, maybe Scarsdale, that dates me. But, all the diets, right? So, and then we're on this roller coaster again. So the way that I work is, let's get off the roller coaster. Let's get off the whole diet cycle, and let's come into an authentic relationship with our body that comes from a place of listening. So to get back to comfort eating, right? This place of I am listening to what's going on in my body. Oh, I need comfort. Of course I would want cookies. Of course I would want mac and cheese, or whatever your version of comfort eating is. Of course, right? That phrase, of course, is a way of opening the door to compassion. Of course I would want to feel comforted. This is a challenging time. And the part where it's like, okay, I gotta just, eat what's, really good for me, for immunity, right? I'm gonna eat the garlic and the ginger and the, and all the, the high fiber and the veggies that I'm gonna eat for immunity. Of course I wanna be healthy right now, right? If we can welcome in a little compassion into that feeling of tightness around now I'm going to eat for, this reason. We get so attached to it, I'm going to lose that weight. Okay, that's why I'm going to do it. Well, of course I want to lose weight. I have a culture that tells me that it's the only way I can be healthy, which is not true. And if you're still believing that, please go look at the Health at Every Size literature and research and educate yourself around that. All bodies can be healthy bodies, right? There are larger people who live in larger bodies who are very healthy. There are people who live in smaller bodies who are very healthy. There are people who live in larger bodies who are not well. There are people who live in smaller bodies who are not well. There are people getting this virus who live in small bodies, people who are living in larger bodies who are getting this virus. Like, we have to check our fat phobia and weight stigma with our culture and with ourselves. Okay, and I'm actually seeing, just in my sort of sphere of colleagues, that in addition to, oh, you're over, 60 or whatever the cutoff is of getting a respirator machine, that they're also doing it on weight. Well, that's just fat phobia, right? That's sizeism in our culture. So to be really watchful of that. Okay, so I know we have a couple of threads around what's the purpose, but I just want to come back here because just as Jessica says, I have an emotional relationship with food that I've done a good job of healing, but I've experienced food scarcity before. I'm finding myself back in scarcity brain mode with the pandemic. Jessica, you are not alone. It is coming up even for people who haven't had food scarcity. So first of all, to go, wow, okay, that's what's up. It feels scary to me that there are empty grocery stores, that there are shelves that are empty. It feels alarming for me that everybody is hoarding. And then, so just acknowledging, right, state it like, yep, here I am. And then from there going, what do I need? What do I need to feel safe and secure here? What do I need to feel like I can settle in my body? And it may be, for those of us who have experienced food scarcity, we may need to have a fuller pantry. And that is okay. And we also may need a sense of gentleness. Well, we all need this. A sense of gentleness when our eating behavior shows up in a way that is a little uncomfortable or that we would judge. Let's go, oh, of course, I would want more of that because I'm feeling afraid. I'm feeling like it won't be there tomorrow. So this is a small example. I grew up in a house where there was no sweets. My mom was a dieter. I started dieting when I was very young. And she would bring in sweets and they would get hidden. And I would literally go searching around my house and I'd find at the back of a bowl, back of a pantry, empty like old stacked up bowls, and a little note in it from my brother that says, haha, found it first. Right? So who was the person who was going to everybody's house and eating all their candy? That was me. Absolutely. Right? Because there was this feeling like I was not going to get it. It wasn't enough. And it took me really working and healing that part that was like, I'm not going to get enough. So we have to have compassion for that part that gets scared. Am I going to get fed here? And really asking, what does she need? Okay. Deborah says, I'm struggling with carbs and sugar and have limited resources for healthy food right now because I have very limited finances. I'm feeling grateful for what I have and know it will change. I do love the creativity of cooking with what I have available right now. So before I dive right into that comment, I just want to say that right now our culture is very into vilifying carbs and joking about the weight gain that we're going to have when we come out of quarantine. And again, I just want to name that. That is fat phobia. That joking, oh, those memes of, oh my gosh, after quarantine, I'm going to be, that's fat phobia. That's sizeism. And that feeling of, uh-oh, carbs. So we moralize food. We give it a moral value. When I was in my early 20s and I was really starting this journey of my relationship with food and body, I was in OA. I do not recommend it to anybody, but I tried absolutely every diet, every program, everything in the sun. Like when people tell me things, they're like, oh, I'm really afraid you're going to judge me. I'm like, oh, I ran out of judgment from myself like years ago. I used it all up. So I was on OA. I had a sponsor. I thankfully had a very lovely sponsor. And one day, I lived in New York City. I lived in Washington Square Park, right around the park, and Waverly Square coffee shop. And I would go there every day and eat not every day, but sometimes a muffin. Now it's a New York City muffin, size of your head. And I ate the muffin. And I called my sponsor from OA and I was like, I ate a muffin. And she was like, okay. I was like, no, you don't understand. I ate the whole thing. And she was like, mm-hmm. And I was like, you're not getting it. I'm a bad person. I ate the whole muffin. And she was like, Nina, what exactly is in a muffin? And I was like, I don't know, flour, corn, eggs, maybe some sugar. She was like, and do those ingredients make you a bad human being? And it was like, mind blown, because I had grown up with carbs being the enemy, right? Carbs make you bad. Carbs make you fat. Carbs is just a food, right? In fact, it's a macro ingredient, right? We've got protein, we've got carbs, we've got fats, we have some needs. So I just want everybody to lay down the charge against carbs and be like, okay, this is what I'm eating. So to come back to Deborah, your comment about this is what I have limited resources. This is what I can afford. There are different phases of nutrition and nourishment. And one of them is the surrender phase. And frankly, a lot of us are in surrender. This is what we got in the house. This is what's available right now at the grocery store. Right? We want to be in control, right? We want to be in, a healing phase, right? I've been in those when I get sick, I've got like something going on. I'm like, I'm going to do soup and garlic and ginger, and I'm really going to be in this healing phase with my body. Right? And then it's birthday season in our house. We got a whole bunch of birthdays. We're in celebratory eating. Like that's another phase. But you may right now be in surrender phase. This is the food that I got. And how do you be in a place of peace with that? How do you be at food peace with that? So I know I've been going on a lot. Robyn, do you want to questions? I know there's a lot more.
I
Yep.
think, just reading Erin's comment. Yeah, I think it would be, well, I'd love to hear from people what would be most helpful, but I think, the, the topics of scarcity and how that is re-triggering, as Alfred's saying right now, I think, yeah. And compassion around, to me, it feels like whatever we've been doing with our lives to create greater health, or whatever we've been doing that has been challenging that, this is such a unique time. And this feels like the time to be most compassionate with ourselves, like eating for comfort, like you said. Yeah, of course. Like, of course you want comfort. And there might be a question in there, like, I'm feeling uncomfortable, I'm feeling afraid, or I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling sad, and I want to comfort myself. What's the range of nourishment that I can give myself that's comforting? And I know for me, it used to be, and the pattern has broken, thank God, all the work that I've done, it used to be like, immediately I just go to food. And even if I find myself now immediately doing that, I have a pause, like, well, what is this really what I want? Is this really going to do it?
Yeah.
Am I really going to get comforted by this, or is there something else I need? Like, so I think, those are really good questions.
Yeah. There's
To talk about.
absolutely. I think this whole, what you're talking about is, and I have a free program about that, this actually coming up, this idea of eating on purpose, right? We can be home and comforting ourselves in a sort of like numb way. Like, let me just turn the volume down on all of this. This is too much. I'm just dialing it down. So how do we be in a more intentional relationship with food? How do we be in that place where we're checking in with ourselves? And if you're interested in that, the Eat on Purpose program, it's free. Just I don't know how we're doing this problem, but you can just reach out to me. I'm at Nina Manolson. Yeah,
I'll tell people how to reach you.
You'll tell people. Okay.
Yes.
So, but in that, we're really going to dive deeper than we can in our morning time here. But we're going to dive deeper into how do you be in that intentional relationship with food? How do you eat on purpose instead of, well, it's there. I'm feeling like the temperature is high and I'm going to turn it down, right? Because part of what's going on during the stressful time is our nervous systems are really activated, right? So cortisol's up, adrenaline's up, and we're up here in sympathetic nervous system activation, right? Fight or flight. And our body is designed for 4 minutes up here. It's designed for like, I'm being chased by the tiger, and now I'm okay, safe. Well, it hasn't felt that way for a while here, right? So our body's been here for a while. And it's a natural desire to be like, I got to get out of here. I'd like to be over here. Pina coladas on the beach, parasympathetic nervous system activation, rest and digest, tend and befriend. So one of the ways for those of us who tend to reach for food for comfort, how to get from here, sympathetic nervous system activation, wee, high alert, to parasympathetic, oh, let me eat something. And frankly, it's a strategy that's worked, right? It's often been a strategy that works, because what happens is when we eat, our body eventually, often not right away, but eventually kicks in and go, oh my gosh, there's food here. I better start digesting. And digestion doesn't happen in sympathetic, in fight or flight. Digestion happens down here in parasympathetic. So our body eventually goes, oh, okay, I'm eating. So food does play that role of soothing on a very biological level. And so we do want to support ourselves in terms of taking care of our nervous system now. That is one of the most important things. I know Robyn's, works with that in many different ways, but to really tend to our nervous system.
Nina,
Do.
Erin had a really good question. I don't know
Yeah,
if she wants to unmute to ask it. It was scrolled back. There's
Erin,
many
I'm
great
going
comments.
back.
Um,
As you
Erin,
use
do
the
you
word
want to?
alarmed, this one?
Yeah, or she can unmute also if you want to, Erin. You go ahead and unmute yourself if you would like. Yeah, there we go.
Well, I need to go back and look at the question for, I don't even remember.
Yeah,
So,
it was about
you know,
access.
hi. So I juice every day. I use celery juice. I actually have, I drink celery juice every morning, carrot juice, like a blended carrot juice kind of thing every afternoon. This kind of keeps I'm not doing it just to be a juicer. I'm doing it because it keeps my body in track. Because of some conditions that I have, and I can't access the vegetables that I need, right? And especially organic. And I'm in total isolation, right? We're a 2-family household. My ex-husband doesn't want me leaving to go to the grocery store, and I have to respect his right, his because the kids are going back and forth. And I'm technically high risk, not really, but technically, according to my doctors, high risk. Yeah, I mean, I really shouldn't be going to the grocery store, so I can't get anything delivered that I need. So I'm happy to cook. I can bake, I can cook really well with root vegetables and things like this, but I can't get the damn fresh stuff that I want.
Yeah.
So my body just doesn't feel as good as it, like my inflammation is to be really frank, is up.
It's coming up, yeah, for sure.
And I also, I can't get access to, normally I see, my acupuncturist once a week. I see all these other people that kind of like
support you.
Support me. So, other than that, my stress level is like super, like I'm doing really well. So access to food, like fresh food, is really the only thing that's freaking me out.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a lot of people that are feeling this way. I mean, people are feeling this way about toilet paper. I don't care that much about toilet paper. I mean, I've traveled in India and, you can just use water, like, or
So
buy
Erin,
a
where do
tushy.
you
Buy a
live now?
tushy.
Erin, where do you live now?
I live in Andover.
In Andover. Okay. So first of all, there are a lot of farmers markets out in Western Mass that are desperate to sell their food. And if you go on to Mycotera Farm, Chris at Mycotera Farm is trying to consolidate a bunch of farmers, and he's put up a website that you'll be doing a service both in supporting the farmers in Western Mass, and you'll be getting more fresh produce.
Okay.
The other one, I don't think they deliver to Andover, which is why I asked, is Boston Organic. Right now they have a wait list for delivery, but I don't know. I'm giving you the resources this gets delivered to our house.
The Lexington Farmers Market is also running every other week, and what they put out was a list of all the farms in the area that are delivering or have curbside pickup, and some of them were north of Boston. They actually weren't coming to Lexington, but they were doing their thing north of Boston. So I think it's a good inquiry.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think it's worth looking at the farmers market websites. I know the Somerville Farmers Market is also having, direct from farmers. Market Misfits is a delivery service that's delivering vegetables. There's another one that's like that, Imperfect, I think, or something like that. It's not, like grocery store ready, stuff. So that's on the practical end, right? Like part of this time that we're in, it's troubleshooting. How do I get food, right? How do I, if I'm not a cook, I saw this in the chat also, if I'm not a cook, how do I start cooking? I'm used to living, from restaurants and eating out. This is a big shift. So some of this is very practical. How do I be in a concrete relationship with food that works? How do I start? And literally, I did not grow up cooking. And I started in grad school when I was with Robyn. Some friends of mine gave me the recipe book that was recipes with 5 ingredients and less. They were like, Nina, if you can get through grad school, you can figure out how to make a recipe. Really, you can. Right? Like, so for some people, and then it grew from there. And now I'm quite a cook. But letting yourself start, right? Like, if you are not a cook, honestly, right now it's crazy. It's on there, all recipes for a pandemic with 3 ingredients or less. People are getting their stuff out there. So part of this is, where am I going to source it? How am I going to do it? There's a practical piece. And then the other part is coming back to, what phase of nutrition are we in? We're a little bit in surrender. And what phase do we always need to be in? We always need to be in compassion. That there's no such thing as perfect eating. There's no such thing as being, like the ideal diet. It's letting go of that and being instead in, what's the kind of relationship that I truly want with my body and my food. Just like a lot of people I talk to, when we start talking about this in the terms of relationship, I said, would you let anyone else talk to you that way, the way you talk to your body? And they're like, of course not. That's an abusive relationship. I'm like, yeah. So compassion, it's always that phase of nourishment. But right now, a little extra.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I just want to ask if people want me to send some resources out for these fresh vegetable deliveries. Just put a yes in the chat and I will take some time and do that, so that when I send the recording, I can add those to it. I'm assuming the answer is yes, but I don't want to put energy into it unless you don't want it. Okay, I'll do it. Yeah, great, thanks. Yes to any resources, yes.
Yeah, the other thing, I saw somebody looking for, oh no, Robyn, you said I ordered lots of green powders. Yes. So I order from Vitacost. They're a little slow right now and they're out of a lot of things, but they're still, I was able to get supplements and things like that, superfoods, the hemp seeds, the chia seeds, all that kind of stuff that gives, can add a sense of food density, nutrient, so that my food can be more nutrient dense. Sorry, it took me a while to
yes,
format that one.
Yeah, and I wonder for Erin if there are any powdered, because the other thing I did was I was having trouble getting my non-dairy milk that I like. In fact, I got the wrong delivery recently, unfortunately. But I ordered, and I found one that's pure, which is what I need for my body, some coconut milk powder. Like, this isn't going to last forever in terms of resources, but it's, good to have some things that kind of approximate what we're used to doing. And I just wonder if there's even like carrot juice powder and that kind of thing. So
Thank you.
That out.
The other thing, I get fish delivered twice a week from Evergreen Delivery. I'm in the Somerville area. I think there's Cape Ann Fish or something. There's another fish delivery people have been telling me about. Yeah, so there's that. So I know it's so fun to go down the path of practical food, what to eat, how to make it, all of that. And that's important, right? One of the things that I talk about in my work is this idea of the nourishment dynamic, right? It's food, what do we eat, right? All this stuff is important. Where are we going to get it? How's it going to, what are we going to eat? How do we do the eggs and the green smoothies and all of that? And there's also the lifestyle, right? How are we living right now? We're needing to grocery shop less and stock up a little bit more and get better at just working with some pantry staples, right? There's some very specific lifestyle changes that have to happen. And then there's the whole mindset and emotional piece that really plays in to what we're eating and how we're eating, right? So it's what we're eating is, is it, should I be, washing my eggs or not washing my eggs? What am I eating? How am I eating it? Am I completely, eating super fast because this is stressful? Am I eating late at night because I can't settle, right? Go on that level. And why am I eating it? What's going on at a deeper level? So any other questions? Anything else? Robyn, anything you want me to touch on? There's a lot of different places I could go.
Yeah, true. I just want to clarify, a lot of people are writing about eggs, and there are farms that you can go and pick up eggs from, one in Winchester and one that Mitchell posted, but it is true, if they've been washed, they do need to go into the fridge. And if they were not washed, they can stay on the counter. So just clarify that. As a chicken owner for many years, they can stay on the counter for a long time. I've had them on the counter for really a month, and they're totally fine. So thanks for asking that question. Somebody asked about, and then we'll get to, maybe you want to lead us in something, Nina, but somebody asked about cooking food and restaurant food being delivered and whether it's safe. There's been a lot of really good articles on that. And what I understand is that it is safe, and that especially, but to just ensure its safety, just to put it in your own oven and heat it up, and that kills the virus. So I get that it's safe to come to your house, but if you want to just do maximum safety for yourself and feel comfortable, reheat it. Yeah, so Holly says, can we have a meditation or a guided walk through relieving stress, coming to peace with our bodies and food, which is, yes, exactly where I was headed. And so thank you for reading all of our minds.
Yeah, because you can also feel it, right? As we talk about the foods and the eggs and the super greens, and I look, and then we're up in our heads around it, right? So to come back. So first, what I want you to do, even before you close your eyes, is just shake your hands out, like flick something icky. And then your shoulders. And then I want you to do a technique called tapottement. It's a massage technique. You're going to take your hand, kind of a loose hand, and you're going to tap the other side. So you're not like a clamp, like a hard clamp. It's just like a very loose, all the way up your shoulders, all the way up onto your head, both fingertips, very loose, kind of tapping your head, down your arms, other arm. Really like feel it. Like it's basically tapottement. It's like, hello, I have a body over here, body in here. It's happening. Okay, and come down right into your torso, down your legs, all over, and get your heart to your chest. You can let out a little sigh, kind of vibrating sound at the back of your neck, the back of your shoulders. And then one more time, give your whole body a shimmy shake. Shimmy shake, shimmy shake, shimmy shake. And then close your eyes and just feel. Close your eyes and just feel and notice. Right? Notice the difference of, oh, okay, I'm moving. I'm moving now. Like should be like a tingle or a sensation, or I'm in here. And then I want you to imagine you're looking inside your body. You're looking inside. It's like you're wandering into a house and you're looking around. And I want you to find that place in your body where the lights are on, going, over here, come sit over here. And it may be because it's a place of pain. It may be a place of pleasure. It may just be a place that says, oh, I just need a little something. And I want you to listen to what's that little something. Does it need a little stretch? Does it need a little touch? What's that place? What's this place in your body saying, I need? Our body has so many needs and it's always communicating. We want to hear her or him. We want to hear our body. What does that place in your body need? And then when you've sort of addressed it, as much as you're willing to in this moment, whether it's a little massage, whether it's a little stretch, whether it's just a gentle hand on your body, when you're ready, just let yourself settle into a little more stillness. And I want you to imagine you were just sitting with you, and you could walk up to your body and go, oh, hi. Oh, hi. My body. How are you? How are you doing? And really listen. Really listen for that voice that is in our body. Always communicating. Hey, how are you doing? And then notice how your body responds. How did he or she respond? Was it a sensation? Was it words? Was it an image, a color? How did your body respond? And you said, hey, how are you doing? And then the next question to ask is, how can I best support you? Dear body, how can I best support you? I want to be of service to you. How can I best support you? I don't want to manage you. I'm not trying to control you. I'm trying to be on your side. And then listen, really listen, because that wisdom exists in you. And when you get an answer, and if you don't get an answer, that's okay too, right? Part of this is just the practice. Hey, how are you? Right? Having the conversation with our body as we would a friend. How are you doing? How are you doing getting through this? Right? All of us have been reaching out more to friends. How's it going? So being in that relationship with self. How's it going? So even if your body doesn't respond, being in the practice of asking. And if your body did respond, when you said, what do you need? How can I support you? Check in. Is there another question there? Well, what does that look like? What exactly how would I exactly support you? What do you need specifically? Right? So letting yourself be in that really quiet and powerful conversation with your own body, where you're sitting in the presence of incredible wisdom. That would be your body, who has all the information that you need. And saying, I am here. I am listening. What do you want to tell me? How can I best serve you? And then just to end this process, I'd like you to take one or two hands, put them on your heart and find your own way to say thank you. Thank you to your body. Thank you, body, for getting me to this moment. Thank you, body, for being willing to be in a dialogue with me. And just notice what that feels like. Thank you. And you say to your own body, thank you. You've been through a lot. Thank you so much. And just notice. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Nina. That was beautiful. Oh, yeah, if anybody has, we do have another minute. If anybody wants to put in the chat what you heard from your body, just to name it for yourself, really.
To anchor it for yourself, yeah. And if you want to let me know what you're taking away, that can be helpful to me, but it can also be helpful to everybody else, because everybody hears something else. Everybody hears something that's important to them. And when we see, oh yeah, that's actually helpful to me. Fat phobia and sizeism, yeah.
Get the idea to reach out to a specific person.
Yeah. Yeah. And your body as a relationship, right? Recognize that all food has good in it. Yeah. It's not like it's bad food, right? My favorite saying is, love the food that loves you back. Right?
Right.
I always think about that. Love, my body doesn't want to talk today. Fair. Your body said moderation, kindness, and compassion for my body. Yeah.
Yeah, Beth says gratitude to and for my body.
Yes. Great. Oh, I like that. Gratitude for and to my body. Both. Yeah.
Exactly.
Love the food that loves you back. That idea is, you know, I love ice cream. Ice cream does not love me back. I feel crappy when I eat ice cream. Probably the dairy is doesn't work for my tummy, right? I love broccoli. Broccoli does not love me back. It makes my tummy hurt, right? So if you looked at it, you go like, well, meanwhile, 100% chocolate or super dark chocolate, I love chocolate. It loves me back, but not at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Otherwise, I'll be up all night, right? The nuance. I like hanging out with this person, but not for very long. This person makes me feel like crap. I want to hang out with them, right? Love the food that loves you back. Be in relationship. My body wants flow and not restriction and judgment. I love that. The reminder to sit or lie down quietly after Qigong. That's beautiful that your body said that. Also the idea of having an articulated conversation with the body. Yep. That's the relationship we want to foster. Julie says, be on it with rest, sleep, right? That's those self-care pieces.
Yes. Beautiful.
Good.
Yeah. So we're just coming to an end, but I will leave the chat box open for those of you that still want to share. It's really rich and really helpful to us and to all of you. And you're welcome. And tomorrow, I'm just responding to Mark's thank you. And tomorrow is another day of daily intimacy. We have Bryn Bishop coming, and she's going to talk about resilience. And I know Bryn, she's going to be very experiential with her time tomorrow. So I think. So please join us again. And later on, I will send out the recording, as I said, and I'll add Nina's contact information so you can reach her for any further questions and the program she's offering for free coming up. And also, I took some notes, and I will send out some resources for you to support you. And yeah, just keep supporting each other, keep supporting your body, these relationships, these internal and external relationships are just so precious always, and really, really highlighted now in terms of how precious this is.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you, Nina.
Thank you, Robyn, for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here and contributing so richly to the conversation.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And yeah, Ari, I will send out a link to the eating program, the compassion, the eating on purpose.
Eat on purpose, yeah.
Yes, eat on purpose. I will send that out. Yeah, so I'll just leave the chat box going for another minute or so, and just love all of you, and mwah, have a blessed day. Take care of yourselves well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you, Robyn. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Lots of love. See you in the morning. You're welcome. Oh, I like that, Julie.